Welcome to Fantastic Females, our adventure to finding the mythical island of freedom together. I'm Kalyani.
And I'm Rupali. We are your next door finance experts sharing our experiences in the world of money and energetics. Welcome back to part 2 of our conversation with Gillian from Happy Tribe. She's about to share a lot more inside scoop.
In terms of growing the business, Gillian, a big part of that is marketing, and a big part of marketing these days is content creation. And the few times we've walked into your beautiful space, you've had amazing photo shoots happening, which tells us that you're quite proactive with your content. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? That tends to be quite overwhelming and daunting. It's not our favorite part, both for Rupali and me. So how do you keep on top of that?
So during my third maternity leave, I trained to be a photographer.
Oh, wow.
So I have a huge passion for photography, and it was always particularly around my children.
Oh, yeah.
However, when I started the business, equally, I wanted initially for e-commerce the photography to be phenomenal and to really give people a feel of what it was that they were buying. Because if they were going to invest in me, I had to show them as much as possible through an e-commerce site what they would be receiving. So the first decision was the photographer, and I used Pranish Rocks, who is just the most beautiful, gentle human man.
Yeah.
He is a phenomenal talent. And I think, again, with content, there is so much talent within Dubai, but it's important that that talent resonates with your brand. And I think quite quickly you feel that if that photographer or videographer is interested in working with you, you can feel that intuitively. And it has to come from more than just the finances that you're paying them a bill. You have to really ask questions about what you're doing, why you're doing it, what the space is, and inquire. So we have remained with Pranish, who does a phenomenal job for our e-commerce stuff. And we met Urosh, who is our videographer, and his content is incredible. He asks us what we would like to see, and Jess and I come out with some very garbled stories and talk over one another in a Scottish and an Irish accent. And somehow he manages to put these ideas together and create content for us that I think really reaches the demographic that we aim for. And he is willing to try anything, as are we. We get great feedback. I am very, very invested in our customers, and I think that the content comes from every customer that either comes in or buys from us or follows us. I could probably tell you 2 or 3 facts about them because I know them.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's never been a click button or people just followed us. I've gotten to know these people. I know their fertility journeys, or I know the sports that their children are interested in. I know their health issues. I know the countries that they're from, the holidays they celebrate, the places they like to go. That's my passion about human connection.
That's
and
amazing.
that then comes through content, and your content has to reflect honestly what it is within your business that you're doing. So of course mine is happiness and joy and people and fun, but equally if your business is something based around nutrition or serious mental health, then you need to be able to reflect that accurately and sincerely in your content. That's what touches people.
Yeah, I love that. I think so much is mindset and energy. Like you said, you intuitively know.
Yes.
I think all of these things are so overlooked at times, and then it reflects in the product, right? Like, so if you're not connected, or your photographer, videographer is not connected and hasn't bought into your story, it will reflect. Then it's just a flat product, and it will not land in the right way at all. And I love the fact that you put so much emphasis and effort, and it seems to come so naturally to you, but there's a huge focus around human connection, whether it's your clients, whether it's your team, whether it's your service providers who seem to have become a part of your family journey, which is amazing. I love that. That's amazing. I think that is ultimately what it is, right? We're all here on planet Earth for a connection, whether we acknowledge it or not. We're all buying into the human connection part of any product we buy, any experience we go for. It's for that. And so that's amazing.
Yes. I think that every business can find the content creators that will uniquely work for them. And I think it's imperative that you find that and that you research that, because that is what will truly create a growing audience for you.
Yeah, you're inspiring us to relook at our content strategy.
We're working full of all good things.
I know. I know. So is that something you still keep with yourself, Gillian? You know, you spoke about kind of, instead of working in the business, working on the business and kind of delegating a lot more of the tasks. Do you still find yourself available for that human connection, which is hard, you know, as the numbers grow?
I have had probably in the last 10 days while I was working on the new website, I have been in for one full day. And two things happened from that. One, I missed it dreadfully. But two, I had to recognise that as the owner of the business, I had big responsibilities to fulfil to other people, website developers and things like that. That takes its toll, though, because you're working away from the business, whether it be at home, which is where I chose to work. And I worked every hour fitting in around children home from school, children fed, between children going to bed, children bed, then I'm working. That's a very, very, very difficult juggle as a woman, because I feel we have guilt and we apologise for that.
Yes.
And not to ever disrespect any man, but I don't feel that men walk with the same apology for working.
No.
As women do. Fathers do not apologise for being hardworking and dedicated. Yeah. I feel currently every day that I should be apologising for being hardworking and dedicated. But one of the big mottos, of course, is to set an example to my 3 daughters.
Of course, of course. I think this is something that comes up a lot, especially with our guests who've all been women and who've kind of been business owners, and I absolutely relate to this. I think the number one, the guilt is very much self-imposed. I think our kids are very well looked after if you kind of take a step back. And also, I feel like we almost end up taking the responsibility, again, not to be demeaning to the other gender, but the 360 view always ends up, at least for me, let me talk about me and my family situation. It's always with me. So I'm the police keeping the timings. I'm the police keeping track of what uniform is ready for the next day. And I just feel like then you feel like you can't let up. You can't let things slide. And then that means you can't focus. So that focus, I find, is sometimes very challenging. And that's something I do miss from my pre-parenting days or a job kind of situation. Do you find that quite hard as well? Especially like you mentioned, if you work from home, the focus is very sometimes hard to manage, hard to establish.
Very, very, very much. And I could not sit here and tell you that I have the balance correct, because I do not. Partly I didn't understand what the enormity of the journey that I was beginning on. And also because my family are my absolute priority.
Yeah.
And then the person that I am before I was ever a wife or a mother is full on, dedicated, loyal, and I am to the max with everything that I do. Yeah. There's no middle ground.
No, I totally understand. And this is, I think, something that we have to keep working on as we go along, right? And a lot of times I end up working in the afternoons or after bedtime, and it's okay. I mean, everyone has their own thresholds, but sometimes I have to remind myself that if I can't take those 2 hours off in the afternoon, the whole point for me to create the businesses that I have created was to have that flexibility. So sometimes you kind of have to give yourself that reality check. And sometimes that just looks like you putting your feet up and joining them for a movie that they're watching as well. Whatever it is, it's just kind of like being a little easier, compassionate on yourself, right? I find that sometimes it's the hardest thing to do, as you said. because we have identities from before we became who we are now, and everything needs to kind of come together.
Yes, very much.
That's wonderful. Where do you see Happy Tribe going, Gillian? Or if you have any comments about even competition coming up in the market, that would be interesting to know, because a lot of people in the product business get very insecure, if I can use that word, or they kind of tend to keep their products closer to themselves and not showcase them in their full vivacious kind of breadth, or put the products out in its full capacity to try and keep it to themselves. It happens, of course, in the service industry as well, but products sometimes tend to be harder in that sense to market. Do you ever feel like that? Do you feel like competition bothers you at all?
No, it doesn't bother me, because from the very beginning, we went for transparency. So our doors were open. We had a website. Our prices were on the website. We did not compromise on that. We were honourable in what we offered. We delivered good value for money. So in terms of competition, of course, there is room for everybody, particularly in Dubai. And it's wonderful to see any business succeeding in any area. And competition, of course, is welcome, because it does push you on and challenge your own creativity. And it does push your own business ideas on about, well, what should I do? Or what could I do better? Or what could we be delivering better or in a different way? I think the big difference within our business is that you can walk in and you can see everything.
Yeah.
You can open our drawers, you can open our cupboards, you can try things on, you can play. Everything is there to be seen. And in terms of holding things close to our chests, absolutely not. Our journey is with our customer.
Yeah.
So what we do and what we plan to do, we share on our social media, and we play with it and we enjoy it, and we show images of our customers enjoying it. So there is no big agenda. What there most definitely is an invitation for customers and consumers to tell us what they would like to see.
Yeah.
And we feed back very much from that. That's two different things. One thing is, yes, you can see what's popular in your sales and in your analysis. But then there is a very different part of that when you're asking consumers or your customers are telling you what they would like or they want or they feel is missing. So a big part of it for us is definitely men. We got carried away with the girls, with the women, with the families, and then we forgot about the men.
Which I see more of now in your store.
And now, because, of course, our photographer and our content creator are men, and they are saying to us, have you not considered this? And the truth of it was, not enough. Of course, we were aware, but had we considered it enough? No. So the consideration now is what is achievable there and in that area.
That's amazing. I think, I noticed that a couple of days ago when I walked in, and I saw a lot more, for dads, Father's Day. You've got some amazing products for Father's Day. You've got the wife and hubby stuff. You've got the couple sets. You've got the dad sets, and it's really, really beautiful, I think.
What we really need to research, and this is definitely research rather than intuition, is what do men like? About customization or personalization or practicality. What is most important to men? Because I do not have a huge demographic research.
Gillian, you also mentioned you started the business at a certain age, and I feel like that comes up a lot as well for a lot of people for different reasons. So when I started my first business, I was 23, fresh out of university, and that was a problem.
Wow.
And this number could differ once again from person to person. On the other side of a specific number, some people have goals. I personally had a goal of having an established, profitable business by the age of 30, which is a lot of pressure on yourself. Yeah, but then as I crossed it and I didn't see myself there, that was a problem that I had to then resolve. So is that something, how did you deal with this? Just kind of tell us if it was a factor and how it's played a part in your journey.
It was a massive factor. My children now are 13, 11 and 10. When I started the business, they were 12, 10 and 9.
Right.
And I had increasingly thought about what will I do when they leave home.
Yeah.
Now, my oldest at that point was 12. So considering that perhaps my oldest might leave in 6 years' time, I started to develop genuine fear of what will I be? What will I do? Will I live where they live? Will I just exist as an extension? And mentally, that is not a healthy place to be.
Right.
You bring your children up to fly to reach their full potential.
Yeah.
And being completely honest, I knew that if I didn't do something for me, I would start to hold them back inevitably.
Yeah.
Because they would feel the weight of my unfulfilled passions and dreams.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have always said that in starting the business, I had no ego attached to the success or the failure of this.
Yeah.
So I'd said, if within a year or 18 months this does not work, I will stop, but I will not continue based on ego, and I will not identify myself as my business.
Wow.
This will be part of something that I have done within my life. It might be a chapter, it might be 5 chapters. I don't know.
I love it. You're coming out with some really deep truth bombs, Gillian. Was there a gap between when you left your previous career and between starting Happy Tribe?
Yes.
How long was that, if I might ask?
That was 5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
And did you enjoy that? Because sometimes there's a lot of, pressure for people who have been ambitious before and leave the workforce for family, for time with their family. And then they feel all this weight on themselves and they can't get over it to start something new like you have.
Yes. We made the decision as a family because my husband had started to travel. He was traveling a lot more to Dubai. So we made that decision as a family, more so as parents because our children were much younger. And we were fully committed to the reasons that we did it. And we did that traveling and that living within 2 countries for as long as we could. And then we made the decision to move here. But of course, did I miss my working identity? Massively, massively. For me, that job was an absolute vocation. It was an absolute vocation. I definitely believe that I was born in this world to work within that area and to meet the families and the people that I did. That was a gift to me that I experienced. And definitely then moving here, my children are in school and they're more independent, and I hit that mid-40s of where do I fit? What am I?
Yeah.
Do I enjoy being part of 5 school WhatsApp groups? No. Do I enjoy endless community WhatsApp groups? No. Do I enjoy messages of where is, can I have, I need, I forgot, will you bring, where is? No.
Yeah.
But I adore my children.
Yes.
Of course. And then I accepted the fact and embraced the fact that I needed more. And that's what I brought out as a voice into my family, which definitely shocked them. And sometimes still to this day, like right now, I've probably got messages about where are you?
Oh.
Yeah.
But they are understanding that there is more to mum than just that.
Being the mum.
Which is amazing because that shows them, like you said, that you can have an identity out of the people that you feel like you owe something to or you have a connection to. And so that's amazing. So that, because that inspires them to be who they are. And I love that you started Happy Tribe from such an aware state, in inverted commas, in terms of, you know, ego versus not ego. What is the success or the failure? Both opposite ends mean to you as an individual, because that really drives how you do it, right? And I think that portrays within your thoughts about competition, where you don't have that insecurity because you know why you're doing, you know what you're doing. And you're aware that I think in Dubai, I think we've got such an amazing community of entrepreneurs that actually fuel each other, that competition is You might come across it, but it's not a huge factor. In fact, it energizes you more than anything else, right? You reach out for support and you have that. And that's what Dubai brings to both genders in that sense. But it's very empowering for women because a lot of women come here with their husbands having the job.
Of course.
And they end up kind of creating something. And women are creators. So how naturally, like that's a natural thing, part of life. And so I love that. That's your intention drives the business. It's not so much I must have these targets and if I don't achieve these, it means this about me. And the fact that you're so open with it, open about it with your family, your kids, your husband, the way you kind of communicate with them, they don't sense that insecurity. They sense, oh, right, she's going there and achieving it because of this, or you have that open kind of relationship, and that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that you've even pivoted from such a strong calling to your vocation to what you're doing now, which is totally different. A lot of us find ourselves stuck in what we studied for, which we a lot of times have worked really hard to get to. And to have found something that you enjoyed so much and then still accepted your circumstances and geographic location with grace while moving into something that you still enjoy just kind of inspires everyone, A, to be able to start at any age, and B, not to hold yourself back. I mean, there's not just one thing in the whole world that you are born to enjoy as work. There could be different things that you could enjoy. Before we kind of tend towards the end of the episode, Gillian, any favorite bits that you really enjoy in your business? What do you enjoy as being part of Happy Tribe?
Making people happy. I love to see when they're trying to create something, you can help them and it brings it to life.
Oh.
And one of the most favorite parts, in fact, the most favorite part for me of the Happy Tribe, is that the more vulnerable I am, so the more honest I am when I ask for help, or I say I don't know, or how should I do, or do you know anybody? I feel like there is this army of people ready to support and help and connect and educate. And that's an energy and a vitality in a country that I have not experienced before. And I love that. And I thrive on that. And I hope to be able to emulate that to the people that have done that for me.
Yeah.
And that can be from one recommendation to the next. But just that, the more vulnerable you can be in terms of it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
And no one knows.
Yeah. And it's okay. We had a conversation about how to organize a lease. Don't really know, but let's help each other. And we did,
Yeah.
And I remember that day, that first day we spoke about that the weight that I felt lifted off me, because I felt, I'm not the only one. And somebody else felt like that. And that shared connection is just a joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that resulted from an open conversation without being like, oh, well, we didn't have that issue, so you do you.
Yeah.
it was more like, oh my goodness, is that what happened to you too?
Yeah. You're right. Dubai tends to be very easy in terms of being able to approach other business owners. At least in the entrepreneur community, it tends to be very transparent. So that's really wonderful. Sometimes, we've spoken about moving countries and you just don't feel the same energy. You feel like you have to work very hard from going from an outsider to becoming an insider. Whereas in Dubai, I think it welcomes you with open arms generally.
Yes.
I think the only thing that stops you from doing that is yourself, right? So
exactly.
As soon as you overcome that hurdle,
exactly,
everyone's waiting to help, to support, to kind of really take you to that next level, and that's amazing.
My best successes within the business have been just ask.
Yeah.
And I have had incredible success and response from that. Just reach out.
Absolutely. Where does Happy Tribe look like it's going at this point, Gillian? Even though I'm sure it's been a heady few months, 8 months is an incredibly short time. I can totally understand that your family is still getting used to it. You've already had the 24/7 working phase and you've hired more resources already. So you've grown super rapidly. Do you tend to go with the same steam? Do you tend to stabilize a little? How do you see this going?
It keeps going and it keeps getting bigger. So definitely our new website is going this weekend and it will definitely grow. We need more space. We've outgrown our space, but our plan will always be to remain as our stationary studio within Motor City.
Nice.
And definitely with the people that started with us. And that will always be our home. The growth factor will come through e-commerce. The growth factor will come through hiring more staff. And of course, I'm always extremely mindful that I have to value who came with us on the journey first.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's imperative that they are, as a team, we are comfortable with what we were doing, that we're transparent in what our plans are, and that we leave people feeling secure in their role and the importance that their role plays. So it is not to replace anybody or to suggest that anybody is equally as replaceable or transferable. It is just that we need more. We need more machinists, we need another tailor, we need another embroiderist, and that will be part of our team plan that we have, and then we will grow. And I anticipate the e-commerce being the biggest growth factor because I'm blown away by how busy we are as a walk-in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people like to come and play.
Yeah.
So are we, and this is such a good problem to have.
Yes.
So, well, wishing you the very best in
Thank
business going forwards. We missed speaking to your partner today, Jess, but we'd love to have you guys back.
Absolutely.
For breaking down the next success story, for breaking down your amazing mindset that's left us so inspired. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you both very much. It was a pleasure.
So please share this podcast, leave your reviews, your comments to support us on our journey. We are so passionate about making your lives more abundant with this information.
So with that, we bring this episode of our financial adventure to an end. Please follow us on all social media platforms at Fantastic Females.
None of the information provided is financial advice, and Fantastic Females is not a financial advisor.
The information provided is educational only. It is general in nature and does not take into account your personal circumstances.
Please use your own due diligence before making any financial or investment decisions.